Today, we're tackling a clutch repair on my 85 Ironhead. This same process works on just about any vintage Harley. When these bikes sit too long, the clutches tend to grab and stick. So let's dig in and get this old girl back on the road. Okay, let's get into this. Of course, it's a Harley, so there's a ton of stuff you got to take off. There's a backing nut right here, and run that thing all the way back, and then take that in. So when you pull this thing apart, right? And you know, this should come off here fairly easy. I mean, you got to put a little effort into it, but if you've got a pry on this, then you've got something that's not loose, okay? And you can see this is in here. This is a bearing, goes right in there. This clutch basket is 1984, late 1984 and 85. Now you go to 1986, it's different. You go back to the beginning of 1984, it's different. Special tool. Jim's USA remakes this tool, this Harley tool. This is the cheapest one you can get. It's around $100. Take a good look. 34761-84. Take this, you put it over the top right there. Then I use a washer and a fine thread nut that fits this. I think that's 5/16. Screw that on there like that, okay? Now make sure that that behind there is seated out here where it's supposed to be, okay? Because you don't want to pull this thing sideways, but you can turn this inside here and pull this out at the same time, like that. Then, holding this 1/2-inch wrench. Now what's happening here is the center's pulling back this way, the outsides of this is pushing that spring in, and it's releasing the pressure off here. Now, there's a spot where you gotta stop. Okay, and you're gonna feel it. And that's all I got for you, is you gotta feel it. So it takes a little bit, okay? But you can kind of feel it. That's about all it wants right there. Now, is this snap ring loose? That's the question. And the answer is yes. See this? So you just take this screwdriver here and you just pop this snap ring out. Now, there's the snap ring. It goes behind these aluminum pieces right here. So we're here, right? Now we're gonna pull that right there, and you're gonna find, now don't lose these. There's a really funky looking like two-piece washer. So I just set those back in there, and then I know I'm in the right spot. So these clutch plates are what I poured the oil in, okay? And these are supposed to be free. And watch this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 friction plates and 1, 2, 3, 4 steel plates stuck together. This is why the clutch is grabbing. Right here. This is it. Right here. There's the problem. Okay? So, put this in here. Bring this over here because we're gonna take this apart. But we got to get the rest of these out of here, and we're going to do that with a magnet. So this is that double-sided plate. Now, what we're going to do, and what I'd recommend, is that you stack these back up the way they come out, right? Look at this. These are all stuck together too. So the only place that it was releasing was that double steel plate. Look at that. And you can see what was happening. You see it? See this, all this fluid on here? So I stack these up like this, right? Let's take this apart, right? And see how hard this is gonna be. You see, it came right loose there, but that one's stuck. And that one's stuck. You know, this clutch doesn't look too bad, but Oh man, do you see how, there's no way that that's gonna come loose, you know, with just the spinning. So, okay, so as we look at this, right? Why is this stuck? I guess that's the question that I want to answer. Why is it stuck? And it's stuck because as it sits in wet, okay, it's only got oil, say, up to here, right? Like the bottom of the clutch. So it's not completely a wet clutch. It's like a semi-wet clutch. And it sits in the oil and it spins, these spin in a little bit of oil in the bottom and keep it all wet. And as it sits, you know, and not moving like this, these things just stay in this position. And the oil is what's holding these stuck, okay? Well, that doesn't make any sense at all to me, because I have worked on clutches from semis to, you know, old Harleys to old Indians to Japanese bikes, and the only ones that I seem to have problems with are Harleys, well, old Indians and old Harley. And there's something they have in common, and all these stuck clutches. It doesn't happen in the Japanese motorcycles. It doesn't happen in other applications where they sit for a long period of time stuck together. It's the oil that's sticking these together. And I think it gets gummy, and it also begins to wear the metal. And that metal becomes part of what's in the oil, and then it somehow becomes sticky over time, almost like glue. That's why the clutch is sticky. All right, so we got them stacked up. We'll start just putting them in. Now you'll see these have like ears or teeth that sit in the outside of this clutch basket. You see the clutch basket, this is hooked to the primary chain, which is hooked to the crankshaft here. And then this is hooked to the transmission. So just visualize this in your mind. The motor's running, which means this outside is spinning, right? The pressure of these plates sticking together causes the transmission input shaft to spin right here, right? And that then drives this chain back here, which drives the rear wheel. So you've got these that, right, go on the outside, and then the steel plates, which have teeth on the transmission. And you just go ahead and put them together the way that, you know, we set them up. So I don't know about you, but I always make mistakes when I get in a hurry. Always. And that's the big deal at a dealership. It's pressure. Always pressure. And you know, I don't like the pressure. So I like to come home and work on stuff. The pressure makes it not fun, you know. Just go ahead and just keep going. It should fit. Doesn't look like it's going to fit, does it? It looks like we're not going to get her done. It's never going to work. Hey, it worked. Look at that. Perfect, right? Now, come on, we'll grab this, right? And we left the little washers in there. And you see this has teeth here too, see? Goes right in here with no particular order, okay? Then, so here's a trick. Here's where a trick comes in, because we don't have it laying flat, right? So all this has got to go together so that it doesn't get hung up in here. So we kind of pick this up and get it back there where it's supposed to be, like that. It's a little bit of a trick, but we can get it. All right, the snap ring is in. Can we get in here and actually see? And what you're looking for, let me grab something to point with. So you see this? Can you see that? I think they can. I think you can. This line on this, that's where it goes behind that ear. See? So each one you want to make sure that that black snap ring is behind that silver ear. All the way around, see? Yeah. there, there, and there. And if you try to force this, okay, which I was, you know, about ready to do because I was getting frustrated, this ear will break. And when that ear breaks, you're jacked. You think, you know, you look at this and you think that's not enough to hold it. That's what I do. I look at, this isn't enough. Look at that. But that, if you look at this line, that's exactly where it's been all this time. So that is how it works. And it's kind of sketchy because you're underneath all this pressure, right? And you kind of feel like, man, that thing's gonna come apart, man. It's gonna blow my face off when it comes out of there. But it's just only, you know, this far, you know? So it's not like it's a big old spring down like that and it's gonna let loose like a brake chamber on a semi, which I've seen like fly across and go through a flipping wall, metal building, you know, when they let go. Oh, I never told my wife that. You should see the way she's looking at me. Anyway, okay, so now we can back this off, okay? Be kind of careful here because the way I'm doing it's really easy to break this off. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be doing it that way. Let me reach over here. I probably ought to use a bigger screwdriver, but I'm just a little too lazy, I guess, to go over there and get it. That's a better way. You can't get so much torque as you can when you put one in there sideways like what I had it. You know, I'm not concerned with me breaking the dam. I'm concerned with you breaking the dam. So now you need a little screwdriver to continue this process. All right, there we go. So there it is. It's under pressure, see? And now these two are, see how they're locked? The two are locked together because the spring pressure is pushing these plates together. So this shaft and this shaft will turn together now until you get on this, right? And the mechanism pushes this back and releases the pressure, the spring pressure, and then releases the pressure off of these clutch plates pushed together. So I hope that makes sense. So let's make sure that when we go in here that this ramp is all the way back before we start to go putting this back together, okay? And we got to keep it that way. So we're going to go on the shift shaft first. That's that, or we're going to go on this foot peg mount first, right into here. Right now I'm going to show you how you adjust this. It's a little screwed up, which is what usually happens with old Harleys. So this is basically a throw-out bearing that we're tensioning. We're tensioning a throw-out bearing. So that sits down in there like that, and you take it down until you feel tension, right? Like that, not super tight, and then back, half turn. I think they say quarter. I'm going half, okay? Then this assembly here slips on the top here. Flat sides go like that, and you can see it locks in like that, right? Now, this holds it all together. Isn't that crazy how that's designed? It's not the way things are done these days, I gotta tell you. So there, now, once you get that, right, you're gonna see how much play there is up here, okay? So you're gonna take the play out until there's only, say, you know, you don't want it riding tight, you know? So maybe, I like it like that. That looks good. Now, let's see if we can move this. And now it works like it's supposed to. Of course it does, because now it's together like it's supposed to be, okay? So I put it up on this stand, right? I put it in gear, and the clutch is holding, right? I put it in neutral, you can see it spins. So we'll put it in second gear, okay? Now I'm gonna pull the clutch, and guess what? Fixed, it's totally fixed. It works just like it's supposed to now. So at the beginning of this, I told you I was gonna tell you a secret as to how I keep these things from you know, sticking and getting these sticky clutches when they sit for long periods of time, because some of my bikes, they sit a lot. So here it is, the big reveal. I use ATF in my primaries, in everything that I have. And the reason is, like we said, when we were talking about the clutches sticking together, you got that oil, it's got all the additives for being an engine oil or a transmission oil or whatever. Then plus the added clutch material, then plus the little metal shavings that come off the steel plates in the clutch. And all that together ends up making it all sticky. I think it's the additives in the oil. Well, I don't know about you, but I've messed around with old cars a lot, and I've never had the clutches in an automatic transmission stick. And all the old Harley guys use this because you can get it at a truck stop, you can get it at a convenience store, you can get it at a good hardware store, and you don't have to go to the Harley dealer to get the primary fluid for your bike. I'm gonna throw a quart in it, and that'll be enough for me to get the bike running and riding and everything done. And now the clutch is fixed. So there it is, the clutch fix that'll work for a big twin, or it'll work for a Sportster. It'll work even for, you know, you get into the twin cams, it's even gonna work in a Twinkie. Join me next time on Vintage Harleys Revive.